Women's Volleyball Championships presented by Northwestern Mutual here in LA. UC Irvine scored the final 3 points of the opening set. They lead it 1-0 over their MPSF rivals BYU. Back with Karch Kiraly, Adam Amin. Both teams very efficient offensively as we expected in the first set. Give me a thought for set one and for set two.
Well, UCI hitting almost 500. That's well above their season average. Now they have Chris Austin. They didn't have him playing the first 2 times when they lost to BYU. Right. That's been the difference so far, along with the better control of serve reception by UCI.
Well, let's take a look at the first set stats. And as you said, both teams hitting well offensively. Hughes, as he was in the semis, quietly having a very nice offensive match. He struggled passing, though. Sander led the way for BYU with 6 kills. Ben Patch was very good in the first set as well. On the opposite pin, he had 5 kills. "52nd meeting all-time between these two. They're conference foes out of the MPSF. BYU leads the all-time series 40-11. They swept both matchups this year, but no Chris Austin, as Karch mentioned, for UC Irvine in those 2. It'll be Kevorkian to start serve for UC Irvine in the second. He ended up getting the set on the final kill. Remember, Austin got taken out. They brought in a block specialist in Russell, and Kevorkian did a nice job of setting Russell up for the final kill.
Sure do have both coaches going for the same matchup. You can start in any one of 6 positions, depending on which server you want at the line first. Same matchup, very close game. No reason for either coach to change at this point.
Half a dozen kills now for Patch. It's BYU on the board first in the second. Both of these teams have had to rally. A 1-set deficit is not going to be much to be worried about for either one of these teams. Tilly dug by Sander. Changed it up, didn't have enough on it, and Austin was able to play it. Tilly against the triple block. Third BYU block. UC Irvine had 3.5 officially in the first set. See Steve Grabowski talking with Chris McGowan. Not sure if he wants to check on a rotation here or what. So gave BYU a 2-0 lead. I'm very curious as to see what he's talking about.
My best guess is they're saying that Taylor Sanders should not have been the server, but they started in exactly the position where it would, which would have made him the first server.
You pointed it out right away. That
he was right front. And when you rotate in volleyball, if you start in right front and you win the serve back, you rotate to right back, and it's Sanders' turn to serve.
Right.
So it's possible that Chris McGowan might have changed. He might have written a different lineup on his filed scorecard. Between each and every set, both coaches have to file a little piece of paper. They write their lineup on it. Okay, apparently he wrote the wrong lineup. He meant to start them in a different one. As best I can tell, we don't have perfect information, but he meant to start them where they have here, where Taylor Sander is in right front, but he might have written down on the paper that Taylor Sander was actually in middle front, one rotation back.
So Boyce should have ended up serving instead.
Exactly. He was written down as the right front player.
After that long delay, Austin gives a point back to BYU. It's 2-1. And now Sander will step back to the service line. All-time leader in aces at BYU as a junior, 127 of them.
What a pass by Brinkley.
Sets up Hughes. Good dig by Reyes. Austin's out of the play. Triple block for Tilly.
Look for Sander.
Here he comes. He's stumped at the net. It's La Cavera there.
Not only was I looking for Sander, or we were, but UCI certainly was. Wisely so. They're waiting and keying on Sander and Patch, figuring if they can slow those two down, they'll have a good shot at winning a second title in a row.
La Cavera, 5 of 7 without an error offensively in the first set. There's Rivera. And it's an Irvine front player, Irvine blocker in the net.
Boy, that's frustrating for a coach, and you can see David Kniffin talking to him. Look, guys, just stay calm. They were in great trouble. Out of system, no swing at all for Rivera, but they net. Big mistake.
Boyce is out of the play. Sander for Patch. Triple block there. Tilly the dig and the swing.
And now BYU returns the favor, hitting the net themselves. Can't hit that top tape when you're a blocker.
We're tied at 3. We're tied at 1, 2, and 3 in this second set.
Both teams trying a little too hard for the block when they have that chance. Trying to do something more than they've done all season long.
Both these teams top 6 in the country in blocking.
And now they get Sander in trouble.
Did he tool it? He did. Rivera going right into those hands.
Again, unencumbered by contact. He's just going hard at a very big 3-man block there. And tools it 6 inches out of bounds. A little lucky.
It's Patch on serve. Tilly fought that one up. Here's Hughes. First 2-point lead on either side of the second.
And as you mentioned at the top, we had that graphic. He hit almost 800, Hughes did in set number 1. If he can keep that up, that's another big difference from the last 2 times these teams played earlier this season.
Got it down, an ace for Patch. It's a 3-point lead.
You could see that had a little Scroogey on it. Instead of the curveball, it was going away from him, thumb down, we call it in volleyball, and it went to Hughes, but he backed out. He thought it was going to curve the other way to Tilly.
First ace on either side.
And there's, again, the Scroogey toward Hughes to try to slow him down.
Good save by Sander.
For Patch.
Yep. Block was there. Nice job by Hughes. Last couple of points, especially on pass, not very good. Makes up for it with the block on the outside along with Kevorkian.
He sure did. Very solid block. Those guys are looking for Patch and Hughes. And that time they avoid the net, put their hands across, stuff, and point.
Irvine out blocking BYU 5-2. BYU was second in the country this year in blocks. They had a huge match yesterday. Irvine already nearly as many blocks tonight as they did yesterday against Loyola. David Kniffin, a former center at Irvine, former assistant under John Speraw, first-year head coach. Here's Rivera. What a save by Brinkley, but not a clean second touch. Little heat on that one from the sophomore from Puerto Rico.
Well, before in set number 1, I thought he made a mistake going at Brinkley, but this one's going right toward the sideline instead of in Brinkley's lap. Put him in trouble.
Timeout, UC Irvine. BYU doubling up the Anteaters here in Los Angeles, down 1-0. Back in Los Angeles, BYU searching for its first title since '04. UC Irvine trying to become the first repeat champs in 17 years. Last season, McConnell on service finished off USC in a sweep. Carson Clark was the most outstanding player, those 22 kills, an outstanding performance. The Anteaters with their 3rd ever title. It was under John Speraw, the new head coach at UCLA, and John Speraw, sure enough, we're at Pauley Pavilion, his new house, and he's watching his old assistant in David Kniffin lead the way.
And he was awfully close with his Bruins to beating BYU on their home floor just a little over a week ago, up 2-0 and up 7-1 in the fourth set. But BYU storming back to 8-all. Their backup setter Heat coming in to turn the game around.
And he was integral yesterday as well. Came into the third set against Penn State. Heat did. Helped out. There's Boyce getting a little elevation there.
Nice up.
And Reyes able to play it up. Beautifully done.
What a smart shot by Taylor. By Sander, you could see he knew he had a good block in front of him. Just jump, elevate, hit the deep corner.
6 of the last 7 belong to BYU.
And it started with that great dig from Reyes, just reaching up high enough with his 6-foot 1-inch frame.
Not a good pass, Tilly. Austin played it on 2. Haven't seen much out of the middles tonight, but there's Levaya to give BYU their largest lead of the match. This was a point prior, part of this 7-1 run.
Yeah, watch first the up by Reyes, but watch Sander hang, see the deep corner over the head of Tilly. Great vision by Taylor Sander.
He just saw Tilly take that one final step up towards the net. Great run by Rivera. Levaya pushed it back down. BYU leads it by 7.
And this is an advantage that BYU has. 4 strong jump spin servers. It turns out Rivera's the one who's creating the most trouble for UC Irvine so far. Acing Brinkley, then going to others, and now another near ace.
Another good serve. Tilly.
Too low. Oh, he was under.
That's a break as Hughes gets the side-out kill. A much-needed one at that.
Boy, lots of trouble for the UC Irvine serve receive. And that was a very low set to Tilly. Austin was trying to force it, and you can see Niffen talking to him. Just make sure we run our offense. Don't need to run it faster. Don't need to pick up the tempo. Not trouble for Reyes.
Inconsistent. Reyes, Hughes, Brinkley's been rock solid though, and it leads to a kill for Kevorkian.
And that's a nice matchup when you have what's called a free ball in volleyball. Basically, BYU just put it over super easy. UC Irvine can run any offensive pattern they want, and they ran 2 hitters right at Ryan Boyce, the weakest blocker for BYU.
He's the setter. Here he is. He's the smallest guy up front right now.
Nice up by Brinkley.
There's Tilly. He's been struggling so far tonight.
Ooh, that one drifted back. Remember, McGowan's been talking about the location of their setter, Ryan Boyce. And that time it drifted off. He wants to lead Ben Patch a lot more and let him jump from behind the 3-meter line, but land very close to the net.
UC Irvine answers the 8-1 run with 3 consecutive points, and the Anteaters are back within 4 in the second. Well, the trophy is going to belong to somebody out of the MPSF. BYU or UC Irvine is the question. Irvine with a 1-0 lead on a 3-0 run here in the second. Don't miss the Ivy League Lacrosse Championship on ESPNU. Princeton knocked off top-seeded Cornell in overtime. They'll get set to take on Yale. 11 a.m. Eastern Time on ESPNU Sunday. Also live on Watch ESPN. The auto bid at stake. Taylor Sander, 7 kills so far in this match, hitting .333, and those are his team ranks on the season. Literally a do-everything player.
He sure does, but where he's really picked up his game doesn't show in those stats. Coach McGowan has said he's so much better of a leader, so much more mindful of the fact that when you're the best player, people follow you, and they want to see what you're doing. Whoa, not a good swing there.
And Tilly, a lot of net contact. It's going to be an anteater point, and it was Boyce who went down in a heap for a moment. He's all right. 4-0 run for UC Irvine now.
Let's see the contact at the net. So Boyce is going to be blocking on the other side. Looks like right foot on the left foot of Tilly. Luckily, no sprained ankle. He's ready to go. But Sander has been providing great leadership and really embraced that role of, look, here, I'm just going to go do it. You guys follow me.
Quick one for Lavaya, but pushed it wide. And it's 5 in a row for UC Irvine, back within 2. Another timeout for BYU. Chris McGowan has used both in the first 20 points of this second set.
And there you have the experience of a UCI that knows how to win and knows how to stay poised, and they evaporate that 7-point lead that BYU had.
I'd be curious to see whether Chris McGowan, and when, if he does at all, decides to pull the trigger and maybe go back to the freshman Tyler Heap. We talked about it. Heap came in huge against UCLA when they were down 2-0. Came into the fourth set when they were down 2-1 and 7-1 in the set itself. Came in against Penn State in the third set yesterday as well when they got down by 4 or 5 points early. There's the freshman Heap. And sometimes Boyce can kind of get in his own head. He's very emotional, very intense, and Heap just brings a fresher perspective onto the floor at times.
When Boyce is going well, McGowan says he's the best at location. When he gets a little too mindful, then the location can suffer a little. And of course, the other thing you got to keep on top of is just if you sub out a guy regularly, then he might start thinking, when's it going to happen next time?
Right.
And it could be a little of that too. But Boyce doing such a great job this whole season in leading his team to a title in one of the toughest conferences in college sports.
Split time last year with Joe Kaliakamoa, but he's always been considered to be a team leader. It's his first year, though, as a full-time setter. 35 miles away in Huntington Beach.
And Coach Chris McGowan calls him one of the most competitive guys he's ever coached. Loves to battle. Great work ethic.
Irvine fighting back. They're on a 5-0 run, back within 2. It's Hughes, who has a match-high 8 kills right now on serve. Sander. Oh, what a dig. That's a huge one from La Cavera. That could have easily been a kill. Back to Sander. Saved by Patch. Joust at the net. Tilly got pushed back.
But McGowan has to be watching those sets. If you watch those two to Sander, one was really high, and then the next one was low and fell inside. Winning the joust at the net. Pretty lucky, actually, for BYU. They didn't get 2 great swings from Sander because the tempo was off. And that's where you might want to do a coaching change. And now you can see Dad Carl McGowan up off the bench talking to Coach Chris, son Chris.
There he is, Carl McGowan, Hall of Famer, 2-time champ at BYU. Here's Sander, got a full approach, but it's dug up.
That was a better tempo.
How did that find a seam from La Cavera? Between hands, between defenders, and into the corner for a kill.
What a comeback by UC Irvine, controlling Sander again and swinging La Cavera. Getting much more comfortable, as his coach said, getting into coaching in his own skin, and then an ace down the line.
We're tied up again.
La Cavera earlier in the season trying to be too much like his predecessor, and now just taking smart swings, earning points. 12 all.
8-1 run BYU, and UC Irvine has answered back to tie it. On elevation there for Sander as he picks up the kill. Here's Boyce, back row, now setting and serving. 3 attack options up front. Nicely placed that time by Mehring, and Reyes, you can see how frustrated he is. He thought he shouldn't have made a play on it when he should have.
Yeah, you can watch him as this ball goes past. He yells at himself and just says, you know what, I got to play the close ones. He let it go, and he could have played it. And now he misses the pass.
Patch went up with Mehring. Here's Tilly.
Good read by Reyes.
This comes out of the play. It'll be Brinkley for Tilly. Tilly struggled in the first set and a half or so. He's got to try to get going for Irvine. A 10-2 run for the Anteaters on the 7th kill for Tilly, but he's swung it a lot on 17 swings. Sander loads up and got it down.
I'll tell you, the way UC Irvine's offense is going, BYU's going to have to get more than just Taylor Sander and Ben Patch going. They've got to distribute the ball a little better. Otherwise, UCI can just key on those two.
Mehring.
There's the distribution. When you can get it to other guys and you don't have to go to La Cavera every time, you don't have to go to Tilly every time, you score better.
Haven't seen a ton of kills from the middle blockers so far for UC Irvine. Not a ton of production just yet. Mehring's had a couple of kills in the last few swings. Tilly, a bullet. Great save, Reyes. Rivera going up high. He got the kill!
And McGowan was talking about it earlier this week. Those are the kinds of plays. You pull off a couple of those when you shouldn't win it. Watch this recovery off Tilly. What a great set by Boyce, and then just blasting away by Rivera. A couple of those, and that can change the momentum of a match around.
A good server in Young back there. Nice save by Brinkley. La Cavera. He has been really something so far. He can be inconsistent, but he's able to put it down.
La Cavera with his 7th kill, hitting over 600, and he is only about a 250 hitter, under 250 for this season.
Patch right into the block. It's Kevorkian.
That's where it gets a little dicey for BYU. If you're relying only on Taylor Sander and Ben Patch, UCI can get 2 strong blockers, 4 strong hands in front of them every time.
6-2 out blocking BYU. Let's see if they get Levi involved. We'll go tandem play. They tried to front Levi. The second option was Sander out of the back.
And I'm a little surprised that UCI just didn't think it's still Patch or Sander. This time they leave Sander with nobody in front of him.
A good selection there by Boyce that time. This Patch. Good pass, Tilly. La Cavera again.
Oh boy, that speed behind the setter to a left-hander is giving fits to the blockers of BYU, especially a smaller blocker like Rivera.
Good run in the front row for La Cavera. Now he serves. Second on the team at aces this year behind Tilly. It was long. What more did you expect? Back and forth in the first set and a half.
And here comes Heap, maybe to play across the front row, or maybe they leave him in. And the guy who scored them to such a big lead, Rivera, now at the service line.
That 8-1 run by BYU early in the set, which was answered by UC Irvine. Rivera was back there. There's Heap in the front row. He's your setter, and he's got more size up front than Boyce.
And he creates another scoring opportunity.
Rivera, Reyes, and a free ball. Transition for UC Irvine. A quick run, and Kevorkian with the kill. He's got 4 of them. Now Boyce comes back in for BYU.
And they've used up their subs at that position, so they're going to stick with Boyce. It's a sign of confidence from Coach McGowan, saying, look, we can run this, you can run the offense, and we can win with you at the helm. What a save.
Tilly, and Hughes the free ball. Patch, Boyce, Levi. Both teams would like a little more out of their middles. That's 5 now for Levaya, though. Redshirt senior from St. Charles, Illinois. Second team All-American.
Got a tough mismatch with Tilly up at left front. He's going to be hitting against Boyce. Got to look at that first.
BYU gets it right back. Irvine out of sorts. And they pull the block, and it's tied at 19. Tie number 8 here in the second set.
Tooling it right off the block of Tilly. He didn't point his hands where the ball, where he wanted it to go to. He pointed his hands where it came from.
Two fan contingents battling it out, too. Then louder appalling.
Right at Brinkley.
Lacavera, good penetration by Sander.
Now they can get 3 up. Look for the soft shot.
Good save Rivera.
That slipped.
Yep. Young played it. And Hill for Kevorkian.
Bad break for BYU. They would have loved to have Ben Patch take a swing at that ball, but it was wet behind him. Right there, right exactly where Rivera dove to make the first touch.
And you see Irvine will use a sub here. They'll bring in their serve specialist, the sophomore from Laguna Beach, in Wollaston. David Niffen gave Wollaston a lot of credit, said he's the engine behind the scenes.
Always chirping at guys, organizing their open gyms, making sure everybody does their optional lifts.
That's a tough floater. Reyes played it up well. And Sander pulled the block to tie it at 20.
And Boyce is back into rhythm. That was the right tempo for Sander. You could see he hit that at the top of his jump.
11 kills for Taylor Sander. And now it's 3 attack options up front. Sander and Patch along with Young. This might be the best offensive lineup for BYU with Boyce out of the back. Go right after Brinkley, though. Reyes got it. So did Patch. And Sander could not find it. Very close. Boy, it looked like he was about to touch it down in the corner.
That's a bold move by UCI to let that go. I don't know if I could have let that go and been that confident on it going out of bounds.
Sander.
Easy swing.
Tilly, the push. And it's Lacavera.
Let's take another look at that ball. Here comes Sander trying to find the corner. And they both let it go out. Looks like it was about 6 inches out. Good choice.
Sander, when they needed it, he's been there.
And did you hear Patch over here screaming, go? That's the name of that set. You gotta love it when guys, even a freshman in the NCAA title game, is screaming for the ball.
Here we go. All-time BYU leader in aces. It's Sander. Nice tempo that time on a set that pulled Austin all the way to the other side.
It sure did. Almost into the sideline, and UC Irvine caught BYU's blockers unaware. They didn't have their hands high enough.
UC Irvine is 2 points away from a 2-0 lead, and it's Tilly to serve. Good pass. Rivera, dug by Austin. Hughes got touched too. BYU sides out. 25-23 Irvine in the first set.
And the mismatch you have here is a short Rivera against a Lacavera who has been attacking very well. I'd look for Austin to go behind right there.
Near side pin, and Boyce got it up. Here comes Sander. He's blocked.
But they don't get the swing out of it.
Hughes. Set point Irvine.
BYU would sure love to get this side out and get Patch to the service line.
Sander. Rivera with a save. Sanders blocked. Good coverage. Lavalley's pushed back. It's 2-0. Block number 8 for UC Irvine. They're up 2-0.
What a comeback by UCI from down 11-4, eliminating that lead and putting themselves in a position to win and repeat for the first time since 1996.